Folks, hello and welcome to the Danswers podcast. I'm your host, Dan Donohue. I'm going to have to get right into this episode. I know a lot of you heard what happened last night. I'm going to clear some things up. The answer is yes. I did save countless lives. The answer is yes, I am a hero if you want to use that word. We all have words that we like using. And it's kind of your choice. I'm not saying that you have to call me a hero. That's crazy, right? There are so many other words you could use. Valiant knight of public safety. You could call me that. You could call me a savior of sorts. Not to be confused with any other saviors, right? Although, both of us do have distinctive facial hair. You could call me a hero because that's what I am. So anyway, I was heading back with a friend from a show last night, and we noticed that a Chick-fil-A in Hollywood was on fire. This is not an uncommon sight. Fires happen very often. For the Chick-fil-A, it was Sunday that this happened. Okay, so keep note that it was Sunday that Chick-fil-A got set on fire. They were closed, as Chick-fil-A's are on Sunday. And, that's sad. That is too bad, that all those Chick-fil-A employees woke up Monday well-rested and realized that their place of business was set on fire. I'll get more into that later. Me and my buddy were driving by. We see the Chick-fil-A is on fire. It's Los Angeles. This is nothing to be too concerned about. We turn a corner, and we notice that there is a second fire. There's a second fire that has been set in a shopping cart that was filled with clothes, and there was a lot of stuff around the shopping cart. The shopping cart was right next to two cars and underneath a tree. So at this point, there was probably a campfire-sized fire in the shopping cart. Me and my friend, as I said, we just came from a stand-up comedy show. We are stand-up comedians, which, as many of you know, is the bravest profession in the world imaginable. Okay? Many comedians have said it, and it is true. Stand-up comedy is the last line of defense of free speech. Stand-up comedy is a completely necessary public. Stand-up comedians should be held in the highest esteem in all of society, and we are not just drunk morons who found a way to swear on stage and not have a job. That is not what a stand-up comedian is. We are the philosophers, the truth tellers, the political theorists of a generation, and not just a group of extremely sensitive, extremely stupid people who will say that we want to say everything we want to, but the second that you insult us or make a valid critique of our performance, we spiral into a rage and our mouths start foaming, and we try taking you down and your entire family down. No, we're stand-up comedians, so we're brave. So we pull over, and my buddy Cooper in the car, Cooper Lyden, if you don't know, very, very good friend of mine, recently passed at the Comedy Store. He's doing great for himself. I turn to Cooper, and I go, "Do you have any water in the car?" And Cooper says, "Yes. I have about 14 to 25 3/4 to half-finished water bottles laying around my car." Now, for anyone who has told me in the past to clean out your car, Dan, there's too many empty water bottles. What if there's a fire, huh? Then what? What are you going to use with your clean car, huh, dumbass? I'm sorry I got so mad at you there. That was kind of uncalled for. But there were many half-finished water bottles in the car. Now, if you had seen that a day or two ago, you would go, "Cooper, get your life together, clean out your car." And now what are you saying? You are saying, "Cooper, you are a hero. You saved those two cars. You saved that tree. You saved that fire from," and I'm not speculating here. This is probably my most accurate assessment. You stop that fire from spreading, I would say, to Mississippi and possibly beyond. I don't know how easy it is for fires to cross the Mississippi River, but who knows? A boat could bring it from one side to the other. We don't know. We literally cannot say how far that fire would spread. So Cooper pulls the car over. We get the water bottles out of the car. And what I start doing, because I'm a Cub Scout. You might not know this. You might not know about my military training. I am a former Cub Scout. I was in there for 2 years until my dad found it to be too annoying to bring me to events, and I stopped going. But I was a Cub Scout, which is a paramilitary organization ran by 10-year-olds who cry a lot. Maybe that was just me, but that's part of the business of being a Tier 1 operator. Okay, you got to let it out sometimes. I knew, because of my training, that you can take dirt, and if there is dirt, you can smother a fire. This is like the first thing you learn about fire. Maybe second. First might be stop, drop, and roll. I'll give you third. Second is that water can help stop a fire. Third is if there is no water, or if there is not an abundance of water, you can use dirt to smother a fire. Smothering a fire is a very effective way to stop a fire. As Cooper is dousing water on the fire, and I am smothering the fire with dirt because there was a construction site, there was dirt on the ground that fell out of probably a pickup truck or something. I don't really know what they're doing, but there was abundant dirt, and I was smothering the fire. A fire truck rolls by. The fire truck is heading to Chick-fil-A, but they stop to see the fire that me and Cooper are working on. I think what's going to happen is the people in the fire truck are going to get out of the fire truck, help us for a second, because the Chick-fil-A fire was already being addressed. Or maybe one guy was going to hop out, or something, right? What happened was the guy in the passenger seat of the fire truck poked his head out of the fire truck, directed at me, and said, "Just put water on it. What are you doing?" Cooper was already putting water on it. And I yelled back, "I'm using dirt to smother it." And the guy in the fire truck went, "Oh, okay." In a way, now I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate on this person. I don't want to speculate about, what was going through their head. It really did seem to me that he did not know that that was a method of extinguishing a fire. I was pretty shocked. I was pretty stunned. It was really funny. It was really funny to be putting out a fire, and then a firefighter rolls a window down, not to help, but to armchair quarterback. I think that's great. It's like if I was getting in a street fight and Mike Tyson drove by and rolled his window down, and I think I'm going to get some advice from Mike Tyson that's going to help me in the street fight, and Mike Tyson goes, "Just punt him." Didn't really help me, but the fire was extinguished. A couple of neighbors came out. They helped. So now it's now, right? Now we're dealing with the present, and I have been getting a lot of congratulations, and I just wanted to let people know. I do appreciate that. I appreciate that you support me. I appreciate that you support my heroic journey into the realm of firefighting. I just want to say I'm not a professional firefighter, right? Professional firefighters are heroes. They absolutely are heroes. All of them are heroes. Maybe not that one guy who rolled the window down and yelled at me and my friend to put water on it. But I'm sure he has been a hero in other situations. That was not the most heroic moment of his life, but that's okay. That's okay. We all have our days. We all have our off days. That guy was having a bit of an off day, it seems. But I do want to make it clear I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur firefighter. I would like the title of amateur firefighter. I have a record of 1-0, undefeated when it comes to fires. Now, that's actually not true. I am 2-0 when it comes to fires. Another brief fire story. I was driving by a discount shoe store in Los Angeles, California, and there was a fire set right next to it. I did not see who started that fire, but I pulled up to it because no one else was noticing. There's a famous taco truck in the parking lot of that shoe store, and my main concern, because the shoe store was closed, no one was inside of it, my main concern was one of two things. One, I don't like seeing anything happen to Skechers. Enough has happened to that brand already. And two, I really like that taco truck, and I didn't want to see anything happen to it. So I got out of my car. I luckily, again, I just realized this. I was not planning on making this connection before I started the podcast. I had a bunch of half-empty water bottles in the car. And that's why I was able to put out the second fire that I have stopped. Okay? Wow. Boy, oh boy. Listen here, Marie Kondo. You can come. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. I'm sorry if it's not. You can come on the podcast anytime, and we can have a conversation about cleanliness. You can tell me about how decluttering my life will make it better, and I can tell you about how not decluttering my life saved lives. Okay? And maybe we'll let the people decide which one of our methods is better. Huh? Huh? I had a bunch of half-empty water bottles, so I get out of the car. I go up to the fire. The fire is pretty small. It's just, again, like just a bunch of stuff on the ground that is flammable, and someone lit on a firebug, or I don't know if there's a politically correct term for firebug. I don't think we need one. I think if you're somebody who is actively trying to light buildings on fire, we will get to you. Okay, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to discriminate here. If you are a person that loves arson, there is probably something going on in your brain. I do hope you are getting medical help. But as far as the words that are used to describe you, we'll even get to changing those. We just are going to deal with some other groups of people first before we get to you. Is that fair? Is that fair? Is that... I think there's a lot of people being called a lot of derogatory things, okay? And if you are a person who loves arson and being called a firebug upsets and offends you, I feel for you, and I do empathize with that situation. I think we should get to other people before we assist you, okay? It's like the oxygen mask thing on planes. It's like that, but with you, okay? We're gonna hear you out. We're gonna hear you out. We are kind of, but not even really getting around to trans people. I mean, in the smallest way possible. So, how about we sit on the sidelines and wait a little bit if you are a man who loves arson? I'm even willing to try right now on the podcast. I am willing to try right now on the podcast to call you something less offensive than firebug. I am trying involuntary lover of arson. How about that? Because I think that those impulses come from places that you don't necessarily have control over. But I digress. Somebody put a pile of trash together, lit it on fire. I came up to it. I poured 2 bottles of water on it. It extinguished the fire. And I turn around, and there was a guy standing there, quite a ways away. He was like 20 yards away, and he was yelling at me. He was like, "Hey, hey, hey, hey!" And I turn around, and I'm expecting him to say, "Hey, thank you for being a hero. You must be Dan Donohue. We've heard about you and your amateur firefighting exploits." I turned around, and there was a man there, and he said, "Why the hell did you do that?" Which was not what I expected. But I gotta let you guys know, when I am under pressure, everything is literal. So that was clearly a very heightened moment for me. Clearly, this guy is angry at me that I put the fire out that he started. right? So I said, so he said, why the hell did you do that? I said, oh, because the building was going to be set on fire. Such an idiot. So I'm such a dumb fucking idiot. Oh, well, sir. Well, sir, because the building was going to be set on fire. Just so. I mean, it is kind of cute in retrospect, isn't it? It is kind of cute. Oh, well, mister. And then he said that he would shoot me. Which is, checkmate to you, sir. That is a good way to get me out of the situation. We could have had a back and forth where I could have explained the cons of setting an entire building on fire and the potential collateral damage that it would cause. And he could maybe regale me with some good points on his end, like fire makes me feel like God, and when I set a fire, I experience an orgasm 10 times more than what you could even fathom. And I would go, okay, well, you've got some points there. It's very interesting. But if you want me to just walk away, which it seemed like he wanted, a great method of doing that is to say, I have a gun and I will shoot you. Because it did make me get back in my car and drive away. And I didn't stick around to see if he tried setting on fire again, but that shoe store is still standing. And I'm going to go ahead and take that as another win, another victory on my end. So 2-0 with fires. And I don't know if I would recommend that for other people. I think that personally, when I see a fire that may catch on and get to a building, I do my best to try to put it out. But, you're not a professional. And we do have a force of people that are paid to do that. And but I think it's also good to give those guys a hand. And then for the next year or so, which is what I will do, I will go to different firehouses and act like one of the boys. Okay? I'm not going to get on the trucks or anything. I'm not crazy. But I will do the stuff that firefighters do outside of the firehouse. I'm going to take my shirt off. We sexualize firefighters too much. Okay? We really do. Those poor boys are just trying to save lives. And all you women are just getting so horny for them. It's just they're just out there. Same with nurses and firefighters. The male firefighters and women nurses get sexualized to a degree that is unbelievable. Cut it out. Okay? Cut it out. I don't know. Maybe they like it. Who knows? But I think we gotta chill out with them. All they're trying to do is help us and save lives. Really quick, I'm going to be in Greenville, South Carolina, September 13th and 14th. Charlotte, North Carolina, September 15th. Chicago, Illinois, September 26th through 28th. And Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. What's the one after September? October 3rd. So get your tickets now. I wanted to use that as a segue into talking about traveling. I went on vacation to Martha's Vineyard with my beautiful girlfriend, and it was truly one of the loveliest times I've ever had in my entire life. If you don't know about Martha's Vineyard, it's a lovely, lovely place. Little, island vacation place. There are locals there, and there are a lot of tourists there. And it's just like picturesque, ideal. Jaws was filmed there. And I gotta say, I was worried because my plan was to not work and to not write while I was there, which makes me go crazy. If I'm not like working and writing pretty much every day, I go a little bit nuts. It makes me feel like I'm not there. Like, I think it's a problem with a lot of people where if we're not working all the time, we don't feel we feel kind of like see-through. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope this isn't too nebulous, but it's like I identify so much with just, working on comedy, trying to keep the career going. It is very important because I got to say, it right now it is kind of nickels and dimes, and I'm trying to like budget stuff because I'm not making a crazy amount of money. I mean, I'm sure after I get my reward for being the top amateur firefighter in Los Angeles, a little bit will come in. But right now, it's like, it feels like a risk to take a vacation, I guess. But I took it anyway, and God, I put my phone down for most of the day, and I realized, man, so much of my day is picking my phone up and getting angry. I I love getting angry. It feels similar to how we love horror movies, how like even though it makes us really, really scared, we seek it out. That's how everyone in the world is when it comes to getting pissed from looking at our phone. Because our phone has this advantage that everyone in the entire world is posting on it. So they'll find a guy that you hate. Your phone is so good. The GPS isn't going to be perfect, right? It'll take you to tell you to take a left when you are it's a one way and you're going to get into a head-on collision. That will happen with your phone. That's not what it's great at. What it's great at is finding someone you hate and putting that guy in front of your face or lady. It's equal opportunity. And they will find them and they will put them directly in front of your two eyes, and you're going to get pissed off at them. But I put the phone down, and I was so much less pissed. When was the last time you sat on a porch, or you just went out? A lot of us don't have porches. I had a porch in Martha's Vineyard. I don't want to brag. I don't have a porch here. That sucks with vacation. If I can give you a little recommendation for vacation, don't stay somewhere too much nicer than your home or where you call home. Don't stay somewhere that's too much nicer. Because getting back from vacation is already like tough because, you have to get back to working. It makes it so much worse when the place you stay also sucks. It really does. Felt bad coming back a little bit. But there was a porch in the place that we were staying. I was sitting on the porch, and I was just like drinking a coffee, and there was wind going through trees, and there were like kind of noises off in the distance. And I was like, man, I wish I was watching sports highlights right now. Man, I wish this is perfect, but the only thing that would make it better is if someone was telling a story about Kobe Bryant being a sociopath on the basketball court. That's what most of my TikToks are. They really do like recommending that sort of stuff to me. But it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. And I do definitely have a lot of shame from not working. And I'm trying to start just dealing with that. Just living with it. Just being like, okay, that's gonna be something that happens, right? I'm just gonna feel a little bit of shame when I don't work, and it's fine. It's okay because it's necessary, right? It's necessary to feel a little bit like not. I'm sorry. Back up. It's necessary to do things that might make you feel a little bit of shame if they are things that you need to do. That's what I'm saying. You have to kind of push past it a little bit. Like, for me, taking a break brings me shame. But I know if you don't take breaks, you die of a heart attack when you're 56. So I just weigh those two things and I say, all right, let's take a little break. Let's take a little breather. Let's get out of the rat race for a second. And it works. So, you might have something like that. What is it? Are you a straight man and you want to go to a dance class, but it's going to make you feel a little bit ashamed? You want to know what? When you get into that dance class, you're not going to be ashamed that you think it's gay that you're doing that. You're going to be ashamed at how bad your hip mobility is. All right? But there's only one way to work on that, brother. So get in there. That's what I have to say to you. That's what I have to say to you. We got a piece of news for you. This is out of the Los Angeles area. And it's going to tie in to a very important point that I need to make to every single one of you. The Hard Summer Music Festival rocked Los Angeles over the weekend, literally. Dozens of complaints from residents, primarily in the Inglewood and El Segundo area, began pouring into local police departments on Friday evening. Police in El Segundo confirmed shortly before 6:30 p.m. Friday that they were investigating a loud booming noise after receiving over 100 calls regarding the disturbance, Although in the community alert, the department noted it was possibly based from the large speakers near LAX. Now, we have a noise problem in this country, and I'm not just talking about concerts. American people are particularly loud, okay? I know this because I come from a very, very loud family. How loud, you might ask? If we go to dinner, it does not matter what we are all talking about. People in the restaurant think there is a problem. We don't have a good idea of our volume and how our volume affects others, okay? I can tell this by the amount of people who bring Beats pills out on hikes. We do not care as long as we are getting what we want. Now, I am an American person, okay? I identify as, I don't even know if that's something you can identify as, but I am American. My heritage is Irish. My family's lineage is from Ireland. I am an American. As an American, I feel it is my responsibility to critique things and hopefully make the people of my country, if not better, at least a bit more aware. And folks, we're a little loud, okay? We are excellent at putting together a basketball team as a country. We are excellent at that. We are excellent at eating hot dogs. There are things that America does wonderfully. I would never take that away from us. But we need to figure out the loudness. All right? Because I went to a movie theater. A movie theater is a visual audio experience, right? And the movie I saw was amazing. M. Night Shyamalan came out with a banger. I'm not going to be too, I won't spoil it for you. It's a great, great movie. I got tickets in the front row because I was there with two other friends, and there weren't, like, you need to buy your seats now. So there weren't 3 seats in a row. So we have to sit up front. I literally can't do it. It's so loud. And you're put in a tough position when you're the person who's saying this is too loud. You sound, unfortunately, and I don't think this is accurate, but people think you sound like a coward. If you think something's too quiet, you can yell about that all the time. No one cares if you think something is too quiet. If you think a movie is too quiet, turn the movie up. I can't hear anything. Turn the movie up. But if you think something's too loud, excuse me, would you mind turning the TV down? What's wrong with you? You have ears that can hear things? Get the hell out of here, dumbass. That's the sense I get. And I sound cranky. I know I sound a bit cranky because it's not popular to say things are too loud. But you know what? I'm done with this. I'm done with pretending that. Listen, noise is one of our 5 senses. All right? If I can see you, in my apartment, I'm calling the police on you. All right? If I can see you in my apartment, I get to be upset. But if I hear the noise that you're making super loudly and clearly from outside my apartment, inside my apartment, I have to just be like, oh, whatever. Oh, well. Oh, well. Bad. The noise is not believed to have been connected to the music festival, as it didn't start until Saturday afternoon. No update was provided on the investigation. It wasn't just Inglewood and El Segundo that heard the festival over the weekend. One Reddit user said that he lives over 8 miles away from the venue, Hollywood Park, next to SoFi Stadium, and thought the noise was from his neighbors since his walls were vibrating. A person responded to the original post who lives in Marina del Rey and said they had to leave their apartment because they were starting to lose it. And another Marina del Rey Redditor claimed that they were able to Shazam a song from inside their residence 10 miles away. If your music needs to be played that loud for it to be enjoyed, it is bad. Okay? God, I sound like Grandpa Dan here, but I cannot stress that point enough. Let's see who was playing this concert. I don't know if there was. Okay, so this, and I don't mean to insult any of these acts, okay? I'm not saying any of these particular acts are bad. These are who was there. Disclosure, I'm sorry, I do not know who Disclosure is. Great name. I love to disclose, so we have that in common. Nelly Furtado, okay. My mom had a Nelly Furtado CD in the car. I did like it. Kenny Beats, could not tell you a Kenny Beats song. Major Lazer, could not tell you a Major Lazer song. So, I gotta say, not a lot coming from that list. I'd like Nelly Furtado. I guess I can name maybe 2 songs from her, but it's too much. Those acts probably don't have control over the volume, but we just need to agree, hey, music is great. Listening to music loud, oh, that's so cool. When you're listening to a cool song, you want to roll down the windows and press a group of 22-year-olds that you listen to Boy Genius. Yeah, that's so cool, dude. Just cut it out. Cut it out. We don't need it. We truly, truly do not need it. This venue, the festival should be ashamed of itself. That they messed up this bad, that this many people are upset with the noise. Yeah, it sucks. That sucks. It's already a loud place. Already loud. We do not need someone to be hearing your concert 10 miles away and Shazamming a song from it. That sucks. And it's a great analogy because I can guarantee you the people who put on that concert do not give a shit at all. It's much like a person who's too loud. Like me. If you tell someone they're being too loud, they get all sensitive. Oh, what? I'm not being... Listen. People aren't here to insult you. People aren't here to insult your music, Nelly Furtado. Disclosure, Kenny Beats, and Major Lazer. That's a lineup of the century. Okay, that might as well be the Woodstock of our generation. that might as well be Woodstock 2024. Major Lazer, Nelly Furtado, Disclosure, and Kenny Beats. That is our Jimi Hendrix, Arlo Guthrie, Bob Dylan. Those are our guys and woman, of course. And I don't know what comprises Major Lazer. I assume several lasers. I'm sure you make great music. disclosure, Kenny Beats. I don't need to hear it from 10 miles away. I really don't. I'll come to you, Major Laser. I will come to you if I need some major laser in my life. Anyway, let's get into some questions, folks. We got 2 today. As a reminder, if you join the Reddit, you can ask me personal questions that I answer on the Reddit episode you get once a week. But these were sourced from online. Screw the dating and relationship questions. What is your go-to tool brand and why? Okay. So, that's a great question. This is a very touchy subject, okay? Because there is a war here between DeWalt and Milwaukee, okay? Now, I own one drill, and it is a DeWalt. So I would say that is my favorite drill. If you say someone who likes Milwaukee, that is the case for you, they will hit you. No, that's not true. Yeah, I like DeWalt. I will go ahead and say for most people's home needs, you can just kind of buy a Black & Decker. If you want people who work construction to make fun of you, you can buy a Black & Decker. But that just know that is bad. It will probably work for what you need it, but it is bad. And don't be proud of your Black & Decker drill. I know it's cute. It has it's a little bit more effective than the little drill you get in a like child's toy that has like the rubber hammer and then it has like the little rubber drill. Black & Decker is like maybe one step above that. But I like my DeWalt. My DeWalt has worked for so damn long. It has survived a lot of damage, and it still helps me help my friends in Los Angeles who do not know how to do literally anything. I have friends in Los Angeles. Now, I'm not a very handy person. Like I said, I almost said old Milwaukee instead of Milwaukee because I just, I haven't been in the game for a while. But even when, like, at my peak of knowing how to do stuff, I still am not great. Like, I'm not the handiest person in the entire world. For Los Angeles, California, I am like MacGyver. I will drill a drywall anchor into a wall, and my friends in Los Angeles will look at me like I did sorcery. They'll be like, "Wait, what? What? You just used a toggle bolt?" And it's like, how did you? Who didn't? What? I guess it's good. You know what? Those people are smart, and I'm dumb because I learned how to do the basic home repair stuff. They're smart enough to just have a friend. That really is a skill. That really is a powerful, powerful skill. Just knowing how to have a friend that can do the stuff, that's beautiful. I think really, if we're being real with each other, that's a better skill to have. So DeWalt or Milwaukee, absolutely. If you want like a good drill, but it depends. It just depends on how intense you are. What is a good book for a 17-year-old? Do you have any recommendations for me, a 17-year-old, for self-improvement, or do you think that is a must-read? Okay. When I was 17, I read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I did really like that book. I haven't reread it in a little while. A lot of people came after that book, unjustly in my mind. I do think that it is a book that has a lot of good information in it. And I will tell you another book I read when I was 17, which was bad. That is Atlas Shrugged. Now, I'm going to couch this. There's going to be a bit of back and forth here with this review, but I just want to start from the basis. I think overall, Atlas Shrugged did me harm by reading it. I'm a guy where I think you can get stuff. You can get mental nutrition from things that maybe aren't overall good, right? You can take a piece from something that was made that maybe is overall not great. You can take a little chunk of it and you can internalize that. It's hard to do that without taking the whole thing, right? Sorry if that's difficult to understand. What I'm saying is, so Atlas Shrugged, let me back up. It was written by Ayn Rand. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. A person who basically had this objectivist philosophy that was around how we should reward incredibly wealthy people and incredibly the titans of industry, basically a love letter to quote unquote job creators. That's what Atlas Shrugged was. Now, when I was 17, I hadn't worked, I hadn't been in the real world, and I read that. It did gel for me, and it made me think, well, if I want, kind of going back to what I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast, if I want to be a person of value, I need to find a way to utilize myself because I am only as good as I am useful. Not a great way of finding yourself in the world. Now, also Ayn Rand had a bunch of other completely insane, like hyper libertarian views that in practice just absolutely did not work. I'm not smart enough to break that down for you, but I suggest you read something like The Shock Doctrine, and you can see what like free market capitalism can end up doing, and why it can be maybe not so great. But I would say avoid that. I'm not saying it didn't. Now, it did make me go, okay, I really need to work hard. That's great. Working hard is good. I think we can make a diatribe of how it's important to work hard without also being like it was Native Americans' fault that their land was taken from them. I think maybe we can have that was one of the, at least I heard, one of Ayn Rand's beliefs. So, I think maybe we can keep the baby but throw out almost all that bathwater. So I would say that is a book I would say you should read, and a book that you shouldn't read. If that helps you out. Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys so much for joining. Please subscribe, please like, and catch me live. I'm doing some more live dates, and it's going to be really fun, and the tour is going to be great. So look out for those. And as always, have a good one.